Travel Michigan. I'm Dave Lorenz, along with Michelle Benash. And Michelle, where are we headed to next?
We are headed to Mount Pleasant, and we're talking with Matt Young, Marketing Director of the Mount Pleasant CVB. Welcome to the show, Matt.
Thank you for having me.
So you guys say, come discover Mount Pleasant. It's more than you'd ever expect and a lot more fun. At least I read that somewhere.
You probably did read that somewhere.
What does that mean? Tell us what that means.
Well, I think people, they know a few things there are to do in the Mount Pleasant area. You know, we're home to the Chippewas, the Central Michigan University Chippewas. A lot of people know them for that. They do 500-plus events throughout the whole year. A lot of people know us for the Soaring Eagle Casino, the great live entertainment that they put on. But there's so much more there to do here in Mount Pleasant. There's a great downtown with some really fun boutique shopping, local restaurants. We have the amazing Chippewa River that you can go tubing, kayaking down. So there's always something to do here in Mount Pleasant. Some really fun museums. We also have a brand new water park. Don't know if you've heard of it, the Soaring Eagle Water Park. They offer day passes, so kids and families of all ages can go and get wet, have fun, and so there's always something fun to do.
Hey, man, I have to ask you a question just to see if I can throw you off. I recently was up at the campus just a week ago, a couple of nights, and because I presented to the students there a couple of nights, and both nights they had up on their board, they said, "Welcome to Mountain Town." Where did that come from? Mountain Town?
Well, there is a Mountain Town station. They're a local restaurant here. They also do a local brewery. But I think sometimes people like to think we're Mount Pleasant, so we must have a mountain somewhere.
Yeah, but there isn't,
Mountain
right?
Town. Yeah, and, I always tell people, I say, our name isn't Mountain Pleasant, it's Mount Pleasant.
Well, it just surprised me, so it's funny. But I guess the real emphasis should be on Pleasant, because I really like the Mount Pleasant area. There are a lot of things to do, like you mentioned. Can you tell us a little bit about the Zboing Museum? Because I really find that a fascinating, great place.
I do, too. And, when I moved here and became a student at CMU, I knew about it. I knew its location. I'd never really thought, that's something that I should go and check out or that interested me. And a couple of years ago, I had an opportunity to go and take a tour of it, and I was so amazed by it. They have some really cool, authentic Native American things in their gift shop. They kind of explain the whole history of the tribe there. And going through the tour itself, it was really cool how they have it all set up. You learn a little bit, you get to see some really cool things, and it's actually worth the time to go and check out.
And I don't think you have to be a hardcore person really interested in Native American culture and heritage to really get a lot out of it. Not the biggest museum in the world, but I find it is one of the most quality experiences when it comes to Native American heritage that I've ever experienced.
I agree. I think that they take a lot of pride in where they have come from in the past and as what they're looking to do in the future. And I think that you can feel that as soon as you walk in the door, the pride that they have. They take on the Anishinaabe language in there, and they explain it to you. And it's always fun to try and go in there and take a stab at trying to pronounce things. Of course, people will always correct you and kind of point out this is, the proper way to say it, but it's always interesting.
Agree. Hey, can you tell us about the river itself? The Chippewa River winds through the town, and are there any fun things you can do with the river, like kayaking, canoeing, things like that?
Oh, yeah, you sure can. This is probably a local favorite pastime. As soon as the weather gets warm, you will start seeing people walking around with their tubes, and you know exactly where they're headed. They're headed right to the Chippewa River. They're going to jump in one spot, float to the next, and the great thing about our city park system is it all kind of connects. It's about an 8-mile connecting pathway. So you go over near High Street, you jump in the river, and you float all the way over to Island Park. You can get out, and then you can walk right back following a trail. It's a lot of fun. There's also a couple of really great local canoe places that you can go, kayaking. They even have some what they call a water board where you actually stand and paddle through the Chippewa River.
Yeah.
I personally have never...
The stand-up,
the stand-up paddle. It's a workout. It is
it's fun.
Workout.
Yeah, it is a workout. But it's a lot of fun, and the river, it's so relaxing and winding.
Well, that stand-up boarding, I tried that a little bit down in New Buffalo, but you've actually tried it as well.
I haven't done it in the great state of Michigan, but I will do that.
Yeah, well, that's good.
Yeah.
Well, Matt, tell us a little bit about things like that might also surprise people. You're a big farm area. I
we
suppose
are a big farm area.
Farmers markets and things.
We do. We actually have 3 different farmers markets in the summertime. As soon as those vegetables get out of those ground, things start to flourish here in our area. There is actually a Native American farmers market that's on Wednesdays where you can go and get local honey and fish and vegetables and a lot of really cool things there. There is one on Thursdays near downtown in Island Park. Now that's the very typical farmers market. You can get your fresh flowers and vegetables and fruit and all that great stuff. And then they also have one on Saturday about the height of summer for a couple of months. And that's just to encourage local eating. We have a great co-op. Green Tree Co-op is near downtown. We have a lot of local restaurants that use local produce. So we really, you can eat really locally some great food right here in town.
Well, I think this whole food kind of revolution of, kind of the farm to table movement, if you can call it that, in Michigan, has really been exciting for people who like fresh, locally sourced food. Same thing with wine and microbrew. And you mentioned there's a microbrew in town.
There is. We have, actually there's 2. There's Mountain Town Station and then there's the Mount Pleasant Brewing Company. There are 2 different bottling companies where you can find a lot of really cool locally made brews. So when you come to Mount Pleasant, those are definitely 2 places you want to stop, so you can try those. But we also have Graham's Organic Farm. So if you're not all about the vegetables, they have local organic chicken, turkey, beef. So, you can find a lot of local things. And then you can't forget, we have the big Maple Syrup Festival.
Oh, that's true.
Shepherd is known for, tapping those trees, and we're getting the ability to have locally made maple syrup. So we got a lot of locally made here right in the Mount Pleasant area.
And that festival is coming up next weekend, I believe.
Oh, is it already?
April 25th through the 28th.
Wow.
It is, yes. And there'll be a car show. You can go and have, the pancakes with the local maple syrup. They actually even make the sausage locally that you'll have at the breakfast table. So there's a lot of fun things. They have a fun little parade. It's a great little hometown festival.
I actually love small town festivals, so one to consider. And we're going to actually find out about a lot more festivals in just a minute. But first, I'd like to thank you, Matt. Matt Young, Marketing Director of the Mount Pleasant Convention and Visitors Bureau. They're welcoming you over to the center of the state, right in the core of everything, and you'll enjoy it there in Mount Pleasant. Really do a little exploring. You're going to be surprised, as they say. For more information, go to mountpleasantwow.com. That is Mount Pleasant, WOW.com. Speaking of events, Michelle, we do have lots of them around the state.
We absolutely do. One of them is the National Trout Festival in Kalkaska, and that is an annual favorite, and that's going on Wednesday through Sunday, April 24th through the 28th. It's the 77th year of the National Trout Festival. Downtown Tecumseh has their art walk on Friday, April 26th. Evening merchants are going to be partnering with area artists to bring art into the downtown business, so that that will be a great opportunity. Saugatuck gets musical with the Sounds of Saugatuck Saturday, April 27th. It's an evening of live music in the waterfront community. It's a free event with bands performing at local venues, so it's a great opportunity to check out some music. In Allegan County, the Thorn Apple Woodpecker Festival is taking place Friday through Saturday, April 26th through 27th in Middleville. And this will feature guided bird walks, kayak tours in the woodpecker nesting areas along the river. So that's exciting. And last but not least, you've got Bach Festival Week in Kalamazoo, April 21st through the 24th. And it's a free series celebrating the life and music of J.S. Bach.
Thank you, Michelle. We are going to find out what's happening at a fantastic golf resort called Tullymore over in Stanwood. That's coming up next right here on Travel Michigan, where your trip begins at Michigan.org.